I just want to take this quick time out to give a shout out to Exit Row personality Randall, who's turning. We'll keep that private. That's a good idea. But anyway, shout out to Exit Row personality Randall. Happy birthday to you, sir. By the time you listen to this, you'll be older and wiser.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 11 of The Exit Row. I'm your host, Adama Anderson, here with Justin Moore.
Hey.
And Paige Larson.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. It's been an interesting week, or the last 2 weeks in aviation.
It has. Lots
got
of news
a lot of things
out.
to talk about. So let's go ahead and talk about this jump seater on Horizon.
Oh, let's get violent, man. Let's get violent.
Let's get violent. Ugh.
Okay, so pilot, right, on medical shrooms is what he says.
Oh, man.
Is now being charged with over 80 counts of attempted murder.
Ouch.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
What?
Hard to get a job with that.
Right?
When I read it, I was just like, wait, what? And, we go back and we think about Horizon Air, and we've had the individual who stole the aircraft.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Seattle, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a video of that. That was sad.
A while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And crashed.
Very sad story.
Yeah, very sad story. And crashed the aircraft. So here we go. Horizon Air, again, making the news with a pilot who is trying to overrun the cockpit, take out the fire suppression system, and try to take the lives of over 80 people.
I mean, whether that was the intent or not, we don't know. But unfortunately,
Right.
80 people were on board. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good day for them.
No.
And, they're probably going to end up in jail for quite a while, unfortunately. But, speaking of, we've also had another cockpit intervention situation that occurred this week.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're talking about the Delta pilot that decided to pull a gun out.
Yikes.
Man, what is going on here?
Right?
Like, pulls the gun out and, because the pilot, there's a medical emergency, and says, we're not going to divert this aircraft.
Nuh-uh. Nope, not today.
Like, what kind of a day or even week did that guy have to just make him snap like that? Like, hey, we got a medical on board. No, nope. Pulling my gun out. Ain't gonna do it.
It's a good question.
Right?
Yeah. So we've got some interesting cockpit situations this week. So going back to that Horizon Air, I look at it and I go, okay, so here in America, as we discussed right before, and if the people don't know who are listening, you as a pilot can jump seat with any aircraft, right? Or you can get on any aircraft to get wherever you need to go.
Let's just say airline, yeah.
Yeah, airline. That's a good one, Justin. Yeah. Any airline to get where you need to
technically any aircraft, but really it's any airline.
And it doesn't matter which company you're with. So a Delta pilot could get on a Southwest plane, or
It could even be cargo.
It could be cargo, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if coming from this, if there's going to be a knee-jerk reaction from the FAA saying like, hey, let's go ahead and change that. And Delta pilots, you take care of your people, and Southwest pilots, you take care of their people. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see.
I have a feeling that something's going to come from this,
Right.
and I don't think it's going to be good for pilots who really need to get somewhere, and they're going to really take a longer time to get where they need to go. It's going to cause some problems with the pilots and the airlines to figure out how to get pilots where they need to be, or they just need to get on and pay a regular price ticket to get to where they need.
Right, and when you're in an airport like Omaha, say you're a pilot who lives in Omaha, there's no bases here, so you commute. So I think a lot of pilots are going to end up moving, or like you said, paying the ticket to get somewhere. If their airlines,
Well, they're not going to be paying the ticket.
Yeah,
Let's
they're
be
not
honest,
gonna
they're never going to be paying the ticket.
It's going to get reimbursed.
Like,
right.
who's going to do that? Every single time. So,
But that'll be interesting. So we'll see about that. Now the Delta pilot who decided to pull his gun out. That's an interesting one, and I think it was the FAA who said that all new 737s coming out in a few years have to have a double cockpit, a double door into the cockpit.
oh yeah,
I think that's going to be another. I don't know. Maybe there'll be less pilots with guns. I think it makes sense for some pilots to have it because you need to protect the cockpit at all
Right.
costs. But what do you guys think?
Or maybe just for it to be on the aircraft in general. I don't know, honestly, how it really works, but maybe not for one pilot to specifically have the gun, just have access to it.
Right, the access
One person
to
shouldn't
it.
necessarily be armed, is what I'm saying.
Right.
yeah. Now, do you think flight attendants will maybe have gun access at some point?
I don't think I want a flight attendant to have a gun or a weapon.
I'm going to shout out Non-Rev here because I believe they talked about this in their latest podcast. Shout out to Non-Rev Lounge.
Absolutely.
They actually mentioned this in their, maybe it was their latest one. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I do remember them talking about they have access to not necessarily a gun, but they have access to something and they can easily
Yes.
call numbers and stuff like that. But they
Yeah.
do have access to maybe a so-called weapon.
They have restraints that they have access to.
They've
know
literally
that.
got cuffs on them.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
I didn't know that until I
Yeah.
listened to their podcast. I didn't know that the flight attendant was walking around with cuffs. Kind of hilarious. Kind of hilarious.
Right.
Well, some of these flight attendants. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's kinky. It's hilarious.
Yeah. You can cuff. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, so yeah, I'm interested to see what rolls forward with this and how it's going to change the aviation industry. 2 massive events that have occurred in the last 2 weeks. So it's just,
Yeah, it's been a rough little period right here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I've been on a medical divert before from Amsterdam to Minneapolis, and we diverted to Dublin. After we were past Dublin, we had to go back to Dublin. And I don't think, I think it would be crazy if we had, didn't divert for that medical emergency.
You
Right.
didn't go storming up to the front being like, no.
This guy's dead. Oh, okay. We're just going to keep
He can
rolling.
wait.
Yeah.
He can wait.
So
That can wait. It doesn't matter anymore.
he's, just convulsing back here. So yeah,
Just get over it.
interesting week. I swear. All right. Changing on to another topic. This is a local news for here in Omaha.
Ooh.
There was a individual who worked for a local company about 3-4 miles from here, and he had a laser pointer that
Oh,
was
no.
from his company. They make pasta here.
Supposedly.
Yeah, right. And this guy he's actually going to jail for a year. He just got convicted of it. He ended up pointing his laser at Able One, and Able
good
One
choice,
here
good
is
choice.
the Omaha Police Department and their helicopter. And so now he's going to be in jail for a year because he didn't think that there was anything wrong with putting a laser in a pilot's eyes.
Well, I'm not trying to defend him at all, but he didn't know he was shining it just directly in the cockpit. Let's be honest here.
I did read that he was saying that he was trying to do some nighttime duties or whatever, but
whether this is right or wrong,
Right.
or I shouldn't say that, but whether his story is true or not. Let's say
Right.
it is
Yes.
true, and
Whether it's
let's
true
say
or
what
not,
he said
yes.
is true. I mean, I get it. We've all been although this kid's an adult. We've all been
Yes.
stupid. We've all
That's
been
the
problem.
we've all been that stupid kid that's kind of been pointing a laser. I'll be honest. When I was a kid, I didn't know it was a felony. However, this kid's a grown adult working. I guess he gets a
Yeah.
laser at work, so I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, I feel like this is one of those cases where they're kind of making a point, as in maybe it's the right call to send him to jail for a year, maybe it's not, but now it's out there, so now you know what it is.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of cases out there where people are going to jail for this. Maybe this will be something where hopefully they can learn, because unfortunately this does happen more often than not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So hopefully kind of making a, what's the word I'm looking for? Making a, anyway.
Yeah.
Struggling with words at
Making a
this point.
statement.
Anyway, but yeah, just, whether it's, maybe it's too hefty, maybe it's not hefty enough of a fine or a punishment, but, making a Here I go again with those words. But anyway, you know, just making.
Don't do it, right?
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But his story is interesting,
It
basically.
sets an example for other people, like, you know.
He said he was just kind of like just shining it around, you know, just having fun with it. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but it happened to go through the cockpit of Able 1.
Yeah.
Right. And
Of all the helicopters in the sky, not saying there's a good one to do it to, but he happened to hit the one police chopper in the
Of
air.
all of them, right.
Right.
Yeah.
it's not smart. Yeah. Now, kind of going back to my time out in Iraq and Afghanistan, I would always get pilots who would call me in all the time and said, hey, I got a laser, you know, out there. They're trying to laser the aircraft, like just try to, you know, disturb them. So rules are a little bit different in different countries. In America, just don't do it, man. You don't want to end up like that guy.
Right.
So let's go ahead and change and not be violent. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and take a break. All right, guys, welcome back. We had a liquid malfunction, but we are now back. It is
Sorry about
all cleaned up, and we're ready to go.
Things happen.
All right, so trivia. I know you both know, but did you both know, even though I already told you? I know it sounds stupid.
Justin's face right now, if you can see it.
This is why we need to do video.
Did you know? Although I just told you.
But I'm going to tell you again. All right. So, interesting that I saw that Southwest Airlines headquarters is on the southwest corner of Love Field.
I didn't know that.
Justin,
I
you were
didn't know that. I didn't.
'Cause
It makes sense.
I said it earlier, and Justin was like, you said DFW.
I was just so ready to correct you, and then you executed it flawlessly, and I was like, damn.
It's because you looked at me. You looked at me.
I know, that look.
All right. So, transitioning over.
But yeah, that's good trivia. Nice work, though.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Right?
Hey,
Yeah.
The more you know with the exit row.
the more you know with the X.
Hey, there you go. I like that.
All right. So Southwest this week ordered.
Ugh.
I know, Paige's favorite, right?
Yeah.
Ordered
Might be
108 more 737-700 Maxes. Okay. All right.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
is it 737 Max 7 or 737-100 Max?
I would say Max 7, because that's how they say all the rest of them.
Who's
So,
they?
Everybody.
Wait, sorry, what's the question? Are you saying is it 737 MAX 7?
Or 737-100? 737-700 Max.
I would say it 737 Max 7.
You're saying, so
Because-
like the 7 or the 8, are you saying, is it pronounced 700 or 800 is what you're asking?
No, like, is it
What order
with
do
a
you put
max
it in?
designation?
Okay.
Are you going to say 737 Max 7 for the 700? Or are you going to say 737-700 Max?
I just call it like a MAX 8 or a MAX 9.
That's what I say.
But you said everybody. So who's everybody?
Me.
Everybody I've ever seen. So I've never seen anybody call it anything different.
You know, what's cool is
So Max 8 and Max 9.
Yes.
Now we got the Max 7.
Which is going to be
and
interesting.
hopefully the MAX 10. Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes.
The MAX 10 is considerably longer, like even noticeably longer, I should say.
Long boy.
Yeah.
Long boy.
I'm
Hopefully.
very
But yeah,
interested.
the 7 is interesting. Was it Southwest that ordered them, you said, or was it Ryanair?
Yeah, the Southwest.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of cancellation of Maxes, Ryanair
Yeah.
sounds like they're trying to use a little ploy because they are a very large, minus Southwest, they are the second largest carrier of 737s? I think
Gotta be.
They are, trying to use their status with Boeing and saying, hey, we're avoiding, your European counterpart, and we need you to try to bring the price down. So they're trying to cancel as a ploy to bring Boeing to bring the price down a little bit more for the Maxes. So we'll see how that goes. I don't see that actually happening, and I see Boeing actually maybe giving up a little bit of money for it, but
Yeah.
All right.
I can see that.
Going from like 100 to 75 kind of an order, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, and we'll see what comes out of that. Continuing on with Southwest,
All right, let's go.
Now, we got some recent news this week that we read into, and Justin, you're going to take the lead on this one. We're going to talk about
Taking point.
Southwest and DFW? Question mark?
One of two of my favorite things. I love DFW Airport. Shout out Brothers Family, Adam. How we doing? But yeah, so it's Paige's airline, Southwest. My airport, DFW. They're thinking about getting together, maybe hitching up.
Oh.
Oh.
Maybe.
Wow.
So like, remember there was a time where Southwest did not fly into O'Hare at all. And now it's weird seeing Southwest at O'Hare.
Right.
It's
Yep.
definitely
And I
weird.
only discovered that this year. I saw on Flight Radar 24 looking at O'Hare and there's Southwest. I'm like, wait, what?
It's very weird. Yeah, that's
Where'd
that's
he
a
go?
that's a relatively recent. I mean, it's been going on
Yeah.
for a couple years now, but basically that's what's going on right now with DFW and Southwest. Come possibly 2025. So I'm going to quote. I want to make sure I got things right here. So I'm going to quote the Star Telegram, which is the local publication down there in Arlington and the DFW area. So in 1979, there's a federal law. It was called the Wright Amendment. WRIGHT, the Wright Amendment, and it was meant to protect Dallas-Fort Worth International DFW from competition. So, meaning the flights leaving Dallas Love Field could only fly in the state of Texas. Big state, but still could only fly within the state of Texas
Right.
till about
Still limited,
technically
yeah.
about 2006 is what this is saying here, I believe. I could be wrong, and I'm sure someone's gonna at me and let me know I'm wrong. But anyway, they could only fly within the state of Texas, which is actually how I believe how Southwest started, was just an inter-Texas airline.
Yep.
Yep.
But then I believe starting 2014, they remained restricted. Now there was another amendment, so to say, and it compromised them from expanding into DFW unless Southwest was willing to give up gates at Love Field. Now, the reason that is of note is because that restriction technically ends in 2025, and that is when the new F terminal is supposedly going to be done at DFW, which would be the 6th terminal added at DFW, which is where supposedly Southwest would fly into. So it'll be interesting to see if this does happen. I think it will, just because everything's growing, and Southwest wants to go international from Texas.
Yep.
Supposedly, I should say from the Dallas area.
From the Dallas area.
Yeah.
But I mean, Southwest is also just growing just like any other airline, and they need more space. And Dallas Love Field is unfortunately just locked. They just can't go anywhere. They're like Midway. There's nowhere literally to go.
Right.
Right.
Well, and so talking about the international, like you're talking about, like nobody can fly out of Love Field internationally. Like there's a restriction that's there. So yeah, like
Right.
you said, they
Yep.
want to fly international probably out of Dallas, which makes sense. There's a lot of people in Dallas. Congratulations to the Rangers. Anyways,
I guess. Well done.
and yeah,
And it's funny because this article that I'm currently looking at from the Star Telegram is interesting because even higher ups with Southwest have even come out and said that a majority of their customer base in the DFW area lives closer to DFW airport. So it's just kind of funny that, they want to help them in a way to that extent,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it, like you said earlier with Midway and O'Hare, they also do it in LAX in the LA area. They've got Ontario, and they're flying in multiple cities and multiple airports in multiple cities.
And like I said, just keeping it simple. Like this goes back to when Southwest started flying into O'Hare, and not just Midway specifically. I think it's going to be the same thing here. I'm sure there's been diversions in the past, but
Right.
it would be weird spotting at Founders Plaza, for instance, and seeing a scheduled Southwest flight land. It would be very odd, I would say,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah,
Very odd. But I'm not saying I'm against it. It would be weird, but I'm not against it.
Yeah.
it's kind of neat. And
Yeah. Always down for something different. So I'm intrigued.
And like I said, versus Midway and Dallas Love Field, for instance, those airports literally can't grow. But DFW, there's room to grow there. Thus why they're reaching out saying, hey, we need to grow too. How about we hook up?
right.
And Terminal F, after that's done, DFW it's gonna be hard to grow from there. But an interesting fact is kind of like the new C gates at DFW, the new C gates. I don't know if you noticed this, but they're literally building the terminal at an offsite and then bringing it to DFW. Like they're building it all in one piece and then they ship it.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Yeah, that's
what?
the way. So the way
Yeah.
they built the new high C gates at DFW is they built them about a mile or two off site, They built them all together, put it on, and then they put them on trucks and took them to the airport.
What
and
the
ins-
heck?
and basically installed them like a Lego piece.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that
Right.
crazy? Isn't that crazy? And that's not the way the entire F terminal is being built. I don't think, but I do believe parts of it are going to be done that same way.
I would
But
love
yeah.
to see those going down the road. Like
Yeah, you
a
should.
terminal.
Yeah,
Just going down the road.
For those of you listening, if you're not familiar with that, I would look up the high sea gates, the renovations, and the installation of that, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's basically they just moved a massive building. They built it all off site. Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just to think about that.
Again, the more you know with the exit row. But I just thought that was crazy because they basically moved them all overnight. Obviously, it was not a quick process, but they just
Right.
moved them all overnight and installed it like a Lego piece. It's crazy.
That's just wild what you can do nowadays.
It really is, though.
Like,
But just knowing that they were building like an airport terminal offsite somewhere, like the people that probably weren't in tune, they're just like, so there's an airport going in here?
right?
Wait, I'm going to take this long train to get there? How are we doing it?
Right. But anyway,
It's
that's
like you
super
leave
interesting.
work one day and then come into work the next day, and there's just like a brand new terminal.
Ba-
Like,
Basically, that's how it happened with the sea gates at DFW. They just, one day it wasn't there, and literally the next day it was.
That's crazy.
wow.
It literally went up overnight, as they say.
That's pretty cool.
But I think the new F gates are, I think it's going to be kind of that same process. Not all one piece, but it's a series of, they're building it all off site and bringing it in a series of pieces. Isn't that kind of crazy? Because
That's
it's not going to be the way
crazy, yeah.
the current terminals are, if I'm not mistaken. But again, like I said, I'm sure someone will get at me and let me know I'm wrong. So, but that's what I believe is happening, which will be super cool to actually see because, like you said, it's crazy what we can do these days.
right.
Yeah, DFW, a lot of traffic that goes to that airport.
Man,
Yeah.
a lot of. I mean, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in general is a very busy place.
Yes.
I was listening to Brian Air podcast, so shout out to that podcast. They were literally, I think last week they were talking about the 10 busiest airports in the world, and Dallas was on there, DFW. So a lot of people go
Makes
through there.
sense.
Atlanta still is number one, obviously, and it'll probably take a
Obviously,
while. Shout out to my airport there.
ATL.
All right, Justin, this week
Yeah.
or yesterday you showed us that the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, took a
Yeah, let's go northbound a little bit. Let's go to Kansas City.
well that's south from us, but
Or from
Or north-
DFW. I meant from
Yeah,
DFW.
yeah.
From
North from
DFW.
DFW, south.
Let's go northbound
Yeah.
from DFW.
so they took a sweet A350.
Yeah, they flew.
They
So they're
did.
playing the Dolphins. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Dolphins this Sunday in Frankfurt. They flew Virgin Atlantic A350 1000. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Right.
Nice ride for Taylor and the boys. And by Taylor, I mean Swift. And but
Shout
yeah,
out.
what's funny is the Dolphins took their typical charter, which is not your typical charter. It's an Atlas Air 747.
You've seen the video, right?
Hey, I have.
Yeah,
I know
the
exactly
video
what
is
you're talking
amazing.
about.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just YouTube Miami Dolphins Atlas Air. You'll see. It's a very well done video.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, those guys have it made. That's their typical charter. That's not just the charter for this weekend. The Dolphins literally take that to Baltimore. Very short flights. They'll take that anywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
Wow.
awesome. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
wish.
the Atlas 747.
But yeah. Shout out to the MCI spotters down there. I'm sure it was a good time like yesterday.
Right.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Now let's talk about Alaska. Just released this week. Came out of I think Everett maybe, or wherever they do their paint jobs. That new Alaska Toontown.
Beautiful.
Livery.
I mean, how cute
love
is it, Paige? How cute is it though?
Oh, BB is so cute.
It
you guys.
reminds me at first, like when I first saw a picture of it, it reminded me of the Spirit of the Islands, that old one they had.
Yes.
It reminded me a lot of that one. It looks almost just like that from a distance.
I know. I never got to see that one either.
No, I didn't either. I've seen pictures of it, obviously.
But it
Yeah.
looks just like that same
IRL,
scheme, like the
dig it
blue
up.
and the way it goes into green.
Yeah.
This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm a fan of Disney.
I think the cartoon ones are a little overrated. I'm sorry, get at me, but it's a cool looking plane. But I'm sorry, it's weird, but I still like it because
Wow.
it's a very colorful plane. I love it though.
It's
I'm just not into cartoons, so maybe that's why. But it's a cool looking plane. I'll give it that. Yeah.
Well, and there was a video out there about you were walking into the plane. It must have been the first revenue flight, and in each seat there was like a Mickey and Minnie Mouse stuffed Yeah, there you go. You have it up. Adama has it up on his laptop right now. They had like stuffed animals of Mickey and Minnie Mouse and like goodie bags in the seats and crazy. Like 1 in a million chance to be on a flight like that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and this is for Disneyland, and they even have the chipmunks on the winglets. So on
Yeah,
the
those
inside
winglets
of the
are cool.
winglet, right there. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I absolutely love it.
The
And
winglets are hilarious. Those are awesome.
Right. It reminds me of Frontier winglets.
I hope I get to see it. And,
Right.
And like you said, Paige, it's probably not going to come into Omaha given
No,
the
'cause
variant.
we only get the 900s, not the 800s.
We
like
get
this
the
is
800
going on.
occasionally, but not scheduled usually.
Right, yeah.
It's going to be an LAX. See you guys at
Yep.
Spot LAX next year. We're going to have to go out there to probably get it or something. But Alaska,
It's funny. It's a very love-hate relationship right now with Alaska's marketing team because they've taken away some very important liveries to us, but yet they kind of counter it with these liveries that we're like, we want to hate Alaska, but yet they come out with this and we're like, we want to love Alaska
They're
again,
just playing with our emotions.
Right.
so
I mean, it's a love-hate relationship, like I said. They've taken away some really good ones recently, but they come out, at least they're putting new ones out. you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
'cause-
they had a bold move, taking more to love out of the library.
Right.
But
Still
at
don't
least,
agree
at least
with it,
they're
but-
at least they're coming out with new ones. At
Right.
least.
I'm still going to say Delta and United, they need to get on this livery game because they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Delta does suck.
Delta only has a Team USA, and they have the breast cancer one.
They
We've got the thank you one.
Sky
and
Team.
The thank you. And a Sky Team. That's right. I did fly on that one.
And then they have some
once.
cheek stamps.
But then they have cheek stamps.
Which are
They
not
just-
liveries. Those are just stickers.
Wait, we already talked about that on episode 2 or
I
1.
think they're
I know.
special.
I'm just reiterating the point.
Because I flew on one, so I may be biased, but I still consider it special, you know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll be back.
All right, welcome back to the exit row. Appreciate you sticking around with us. If you're still with us to this point, appreciate you. But Paige,
Oh, right.
Paige's polls. It's time to move on to the
It's time.
infamous world-known segment, Paige's polls.
It's time for Paige's polls.
Beautiful, Adama. Beautiful. So Paige's polls this week is actually throwing it back to episode 10, the most recent episode. Do you believe the person at the window seat has full control of the window shade? Or should the middle aisle seaters have a say? And let's note it down, guys. Aisle was spelt correctly both times. So
Nice.
thank you. Thank you.
Here's a gold star.
Oh, you're so funny. Thanks.
But really, big deal.
Oh my God. Yeah, shouldn't even brought it up, but here we are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, listen, you got us going now, so good job spelling.
Got that
Well, the
Nebraska
first time was an
education.
accident, but anyways.
Hashtag Isle of Man.
Stop. Oh my God. Yeah, okay.
So anyway, you had some polls.
Yeah. My God. Okay. Yeah. So window seat has full control. One with 94%. Middle aisle should have a say. 6%.
Who?
Two
Who said that?
votes. 2 votes for that one versus 32 votes.
the 6% was 2 votes.
Yes.
Interesting.
The people who agree that middle and aisle people should have a say on
Do
the
we
window
out the
shade.
people? Do we out them? I mean, again, like we said previously, I agree that they have control, that the window seat has control.
Yes.
But there's context, just like your situation with Southwest. There's always context.
Right.
But in general, the window seat has control.
Yeah.
Unless you come down with a case of glaucoma.
A case of glaucoma. Yeah. So 32-2 votes. Window seat has
So
full
it
control
was
wins.
32 votes. Wow.
Yes.
Shout out to all those 32 people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Impressive number. Nice.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
All right. We will not out them, even though I'm curious.
That's fine. I really want to, but okay. You know who you
Do
are.
we know them?
I've
They
talked
know us.
to one of them a couple times.
They know. Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not like that.
Speaking of, what was it that you said, Paige, last week
Oh,
or 2 weeks ago? You said, "Do I even want to be with a middle seater?
Do I even want to be with a middle seater?
Right. Like when I'm looking for someone to date, like, do I want to even be with someone who's a middle
That's
seater?
the name of T Swift's next album. Do I even want to be with a middle seater?
Right.
The Taylor Swift edition.
Pages edition.
Pages edition.
Pages polls.
All
The
right,
airplane
so guys,
edition.
But that's the
airplane
question.
era.
Do you? Do you even
Do
want to
I?
be? Yeah.
So this is a tough one. Originally, I
Didn't
said.
think it was going to go this far, but okay.
So this is a little bit okay. Yeah, whatever. Y'all can just do whatever you want. But originally, I said yes.
Oh.
But now I'm like, if someone is okay with being a middle seater and wants to sit by me, because I'm always going to be window seat.
So it's
you know?
about whether they're into you. So if the middle seater's into you, you're into them.
No. Okay.
It's okay. We can move on. Just say it. Let's move on. Let's move on. Adama, what's the next topic?
this has become dating with Paige.
Anyway,
The
next
That's a
exit row
different
dating.
podcast. Okay, we're gonna move on. Hey,
dating with
Paige.
the exit row.
So you shared a post that the TSA shared because the TSA. Now, speaking of TSA, has great social media game.
They do.
actually
Their
do, yeah.
marketing is on point.
They know who they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wanted to talk about one of their posts that they had a few weeks ago because you
Yeah.
find it funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
You find it funny. It is funny, but just the way that was worded.
And truthfully, anything the TSA posts is funny, even though it really isn't.
Even when
because-
they're posting in all seriousness.
Exactly.
Because
Like
it's the
someone
TSA.
trying to smuggle a knife through TSA, but somehow they still find a way to make it funny.
Because unfortunately, they're the TSA, and that's just the way it is.
Right. Yeah. Bringing humor to a dark situation, but to get a point across, basically. So one of the most recent ones is, now, I don't know how exactly they did this. Context, was this diaper rolled up or were they wearing it? So getting into what I'm about to say, but
These are all fair questions.
they posted about someone who tried to smuggle marijuana through TSA
Herb.
into a diaper.
Mary Jane.
Yeah. And the way they had it shaped looks like, poop. So,
Ew, dude.
and they put it into a diaper. And they thought that they were going to, get away with it. So TSA posted it with, of course, a bunch of puns and, what they usually do. But someone
puns?
thought that that's how they were going to smuggle it through. So,
The politically correct word is crap.
okay.
Or
Sorry.
I was gonna say
so sorry.
feces, fecal matter.
Defecation.
Yeah. Welcome to the exit row.
The exit row anatomy class.
Talking on the exit row, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. So, thanks, Paige, for that. Yeah.
You're
Great.
welcome.
Great. Thank you for that graphic segment.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So graphic, yeah.
All right. So I did just say that the TSA has great social media game. Who else has great social media game? We literally talked about this.
Paige.
Paige.
I try my best.
Okay. Airlines, airports. I could tell you
DFW
Ryanair.
has great
DFW's
social
got
media
strong
game.
social game.
Yes.
DFW.
Denver?
Denver?
Maybe? I'm not sure what you're alluding to. Spirit,
No,
maybe?
No, I'm not going with Spirit. Actually, no.
Nolanor has one of the best social media games out there, in my opinion.
I'm
You're a
just-
big fan of theirs.
Yes, I
throwing
am.
throwing out. There's some great social media game that's
You're just
out
saying in
there.
general who's got good game?
Yeah. And
When I post, I've got good game. When I post.
when you post, right? Yeah, you don't
I
post.
post
often.
I post every day.
Page.
Stop.
All right. So recently, going to change out and move on. I'm going to talk about us spotters. So Philadelphia Airport just now added airside access for non-travelers, which is pretty dope. I like when airports do that. Mm-hmm. And again, I will constantly talk about Schiphol Airport and how amazing it is to spot when it's open. There at Amsterdam. I love it. So with that, Flight Radar 24 this week posted an article about the 10 awesome plane spotting locations around the world. And I wanted to share it with you guys.
Please.
So outside the terminal, they say that Manchester Airport in the UK is the #1 airport. Never been there.
What?
Not sure.
Yeah, me either.
I'd go there. For,
Interesting choice. I mean, like, so is this based off spotting locations like that are available?
Right. That's what I'm wondering.
Good question.
Yeah. Like, what's the criteria here? You know.
Gotcha.
This one's for outside, so I assume there's got to be a good area to.
I would assume if they're on number
Right.
one, there's got to be spotting locations.
Yeah, good angle. You know.
I know there's some good live streams out of Manchester, but I guess in general, yeah, obviously haven't been there. But anyway, so let's go down this
So
list.
this is outside the terminal, which means it's a location that you obviously don't need to clear security to visit.
Right, right.
All right.
So we got Manchester at 1.
Manchester, and at number 2, SFO, San Francisco.
Okay.
We've all
Makes
seen
sense.
Interesting.
their double landings there.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. Shayla, she went out there. She's got great pictures from being out there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Third, never been to this island. I would like to. Sydney, Kingsford, Smith Airport.
This is an interesting list.
Right?
Yeah, I've seen some good pictures from there, though.
I mean, these are all great places, but I'm just surprised that these are ranking as high as they are. Over,
right.
Especially if it's based off availability in places outside the airport.
I mean, come on, Justin. We all know you love spotting at Epley Airfield.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they've got Ida Circle.
There you go. Number 4, though, I will agree. I've seen great videos and pictures of this one. London Heathrow Airport.
Yes, that's
London,
a bucket list.
London's up there with LAX, in my opinion, in terms of like location variety.
So this one, it's a street on the London borough of Hounslow. You know, if I get it wrong, I'm sorry. Myrtle Avenue is where you can spot from, and
Oh, Myrtle Avenue is epic.
it's
I mean,
beautiful.
that's one of those, when you see the photo, you know where it is.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
absolutely. LAX.
Okay,
all
there
know.
we go. There we go.
Yep,
There we go. Imperial Hill.
Yes.
Is that the photo they showcase is from Imperial Hill? Okay, yeah.
Look at that beautiful ANA.
That's what I mean, like in terms of like Heathrow and LAX, like in terms of location variety.
Well, yeah, and LAX, in and out. Like, there you get those pictures
And
from over
at the
there.
times we've been there,
Right.
there's places you guys haven't even been yet. You know, that's what I mean, like location variety. There's good places, but there's several of them.
Yes.
Right.
LAX.
That's what a good
so
spotting airport is to me. Not just one, but you've got locations.
And
Right.
the fact that, you know, these airports actually promote, you know, hey, come check it out.
They're
It's
into
part of the
people like us.
tourism.
They're into people like us.
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. So inside the terminal, Amsterdam, number 1, Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Literally, I just told you guys about it.
Oh, you literally just-
it is literally part of the tourism industry of Amsterdam. So it's just like, hey, come check out the airport. Come check out planes. I love it.
Okay.
2, Singapore. I can't say it. Changi
Okay.
Airport. The airport in Singapore. I have flown into Singapore, but I did not fly into that airport. I really wanted to go check that airport. They have that waterfall that's inside too.
Yes.
Ugh, it's
I would
beautiful.
love to see that.
Number 3, Vancouver Airport. I really want to visit Vancouver. It's beautiful out there.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. I'm down.
Going to Germany, number 4, it's Berlin Brandenburg Airport.
Ooh.
So again, these are places within security to spot.
Correct. So like this one, you could see that the airport, you literally have this huge area to stand and obviously a glass window. So it would suck to like take pictures unless you have something that can, you know, cover your lens that won't have the reflection, but
Yeah.
you'll be able to spot there. 5, I really want to go to Tokyo.
Yes.
The Haneda Airport. If I said it wrong, I apologize.
Haneda, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how I say it.
They also, and you can see that you can actually spot through these. They're not blinds, but it's a
yeah.
fence that you can't get
Spotter
through.
friendly for sure.
Yes, I've always wanted to go there.
Number 6, look at that. They even have chairs here at Hamburg Airport in
Ooh.
Germany. So going back to Germany. All right, so you can spot again. Germany, you're doing something right here, letting people spot there.
Get some
Right.
Germans got it going on with post security.
And entry is free for that. So yeah, some of these you have to have a
Entry's free once you're past security. Gotcha.
Right.
well, I mean, at Berlin, you have to pay €3 for a 90-minute time slot. So,
Even if you don't have a ticket?
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And same with Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. You do not have to have a ticket. It's literally blocked off from security, and you can literally go above the airport.
I believe that's the way SFO is now with their new observation.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's past security, but you don't need to be flying.
and it's covered by windows. And I remember in Atlanta, if you can get into one of the Sky Clubs, they have an outdoor patio, which is awesome.
I believe Seattle has a place where you can go as well. If you're
Love
not
it.
flying, that is. I believe they have day passes.
They do have day passes, yeah.
Yep.
Nice. I got to look into that.
Yeah.
Good old SeaTac. I remember flying there from, it was Germany. It was straight from Germany all the way to, no, sorry. It was Afghanistan. I flew all the way from there
Jeez.
back to SeaTac. So
Right.
That's a minute.
Right.
it was a long flight.
Hot
so,
minute.
yeah, I think more airports need to be spotter friendly, and shout out to you, Epley, please. All right.
Pretty please.
Next, we are going to be experiencing time change. So those who are listening to it on Monday, you already know that the time has quote unquote fall back.
And if you don't, now you know.
Right.
Why are you? Wait, what?
You probably knew when you walked into work an hour late.
Yeah, I only bring it up because, again, talking about spotting, us spotters, that's really, it hurts because now we're either going to get golden hour right when we get out of work, or we're rushing to the airport to go get those golden hour pictures. So,
Regardless, as a spotter, the time change is dumb. Get rid of it.
Right.
don't
That's what I'm
understand it.
saying.
I'm totally fine if it went away.
Yeah, me too.
I know they're trying to pass the law, make it happen. So, yeah, enough about that. Let's talk about Redway again.
Fine.
Redway, they
They
never
just
stop.
won't die. As in conversation, they just won't
Right.
die. We just
They
continue
live
to burn
on.
back up.
They live on through the exit row.
So,
We're part of the problem.
So our friend Shayla, who was 2 podcasts ago, she shared in our little group chat that we have with us Omaha plane spotters. Shout out to you guys. Shared that somebody was trying to sell Redway socks for $500.
Ridiculous.
Now, do you think that this person worked for Redway because they're trying to get, trying to sell or trying to pay back those tickets?
Right. Because they clearly need money to reimburse the tickets.
I do remember they had that giveaway though on Instagram, and I think that's where they got them.
Oh.
Where they won those socks through the giveaway, because I think I tried to enter but didn't get them. I don't remember now.
Well,
but
if
it
anybody
sounds
wants to
familiar.
send some Redway socks my way, I'll take it. So,
What if they've been used?
oh,
Right. Let's specify how many times these have been used.
yeah.
I don't think it matters. Once. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of
Right.
gross. I don't think I ever want to touch it.
It's not like a shirt. They're socks, man.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting.
Right.
It'd be like underwear. I'm not going to take someone's
Oh,
underwear.
gross.
That's disgusting.
I think that'd be worse, to be honest. But
They're both the same.
right.
Feet are disgusting.
They're gross.
And
Anyway,
it says
Yeah.
Redway on it, too.
hey. All right. Okay.
Gross.
Let's close out this segment. We're going to talk about Spirit Airways. Bold move.
Keeping it in the low cost.
There you go.
Conversation.
There you,
Okay.
you saw what I did there.
Keeping it in the ULCC conversation.
So they are now deciding to leave Denver. I think in January is when they're going to have their last flights.
yeah, crazy.
Such a big airport,
I
and you're
know.
leaving. Now, the reason behind it is because of the issues of the Pratt & Whitney engines that have plagued the airline industry right now. And so they're saying that they need to pull back. But I still think like two or 3 or 4 flights.
Right. Just limit
Now-
how many flights you're taking out, but still keep a couple,
They've already got such a small presence.
Right.
To get rid of it totally is a big move. Yeah.
And like somebody
Yeah.
like me, if I'm really looking for a low budget airline that can get to Denver, I understand there's Frontier, but you have that competition of Spirit, and people like Spirit, and
Right.
People love to hate Spirit, too.
Yeah.
I think there's a majority of people who think that, but bold move. If you want to Spirit, I'm just saying you can come to Epley. We'll entertain a
Right.
airline or two.
Adama, as the spokesman for the airport, he's saying we'll entertain it. So for sure.
Yeah, come on down. I know Lincoln, I just shared with you 2 guys, Lincoln is looking to maybe either get Breeze or Frontier next year. So good for
yeah.
them. They have United only. They're trying to get somebody else in there and good competition.
Well, speaking of Redway, Breeze and those airlines are going to look at what happened, and yeah, good luck.
Right. So
I know.
Completely seriously though.
Yeah.
yeah. So if you want to come to Epley, that'd be great.
It'd be
Justin,
a great splash of color. It'd be a great splash of color into Epley.
I like
Right.
it. Nice and yellow. Justin,
Hey.
this leads you to your
Yes.
question that
So
we
as
would've
I've
been
mentioned in the
posting.
past, I love my hypotheticals. So
Hypothetical.
let's get hypothetical, shall we?
It's getting hypothetical.
So speaking of Spirit in Epley, were you trying to go Let's Get Physical, that song, but with Let's Get Hypothetical?
Wow. That was a stretch. but
Adama
I'll
is a
allow
singer
it.
lately.
It was a valiant effort, but it did not work. So let's see. And where were we going before that happened? Okay, right. So I got a question that will probably be put into the form of some sort of poll here. But when I came over
confirm.
to start the podcast this evening, I posed a question to the two of you in the form of, so being a spotter at a smaller airport, Epley Airfield, we don't have the liberties of heavies and whatnot, at least not regularly scheduled, right? So let me ask you this. I've got a deal for you. And again, completely hypothetical. There are no factual information coming from this conversation.
Right.
Here. For anyone tuning into the podcast at 52 minutes in, you're like, whoa, heavy's in Omaha? No, anyway. So
Wish.
would you be willing to go kind of DFW style in essence and have only one main airline? Could be American, could be United and Frontier, whatever it is, but have the luxury of having 1 to 2 to 3 heavies a day, which we don't see here in Omaha, regularly scheduled? Or would you rather have airline variety but not see any heavies on a daily basis? I open the discussion.
I think I would rather
Think about it.
Think before you speak.
Thought about it.
Okay.
As I stand right now,
It's funny because you're sitting.
Maybe along the course of the week I might change my mind.
That's what I'm saying. This is a
It's a
this
tough
is for
question.
the thinking spotter. This is a question for the thinking spotter.
It is. And as I stand right now, I would rather have the variety.
It's an interesting question because, and then just like everyone has good days and bad days, there's going to be days where you want those heavies though.
Right.
See, because I think I'm on just being someone who's lived in Omaha, I think I would take the option for the heavies right now. I think I would. But then again, 2 years later, when you're missing variety of airlines,
Right.
you're willing to change. But right now,
Right.
I would go for the heavies. Seeing a 777 on a, even if it's just one, yes, please. Adama, where do you stand right now?
I'm not supposed to be answering. No. For me,
It's one of those questions where you think it's simple, but the more you think about it, it's a tough call. It's a tough call.
It is.
so
Yeah.
as somebody who was on the E4B for 4 years,
Oh, yeah.
I know it's going to be
Right.
every episode, blah, blah, blah. I mean, look
As
at
someone who's been,
Look
their
at the
office was a
beautiful-
heavy.
Look at that beautiful Gemini Jets model right there. Just
It
got
is.
it.
Yeah,
2
shout out
days
to your
old.
shout out to
Tune
your
in now.
your diecast model.
Shout out to
Oh,
125. I'm going to be the heavies.
Now I'll kind of tweak the question. Now it wouldn't be like 7 heavies a day. It'd be like maybe 1, 2, or 3. But here in Omaha, even if it was one daily heavy,
Right.
to me
That
that
would
would
be
be
monumental.
awesome. That would be. But say it's only United, but it means you're getting 1 787-10 a day. Yep.
It's tough.
Yep.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Even United.
We know. Yeah. But what I'm saying, I said.
Right.
You got to pose a question like that. It's all United, but you're getting a 787-10 daily.
And it's not only a question posed towards us as spotters, but we live here, and that opens up. If we were to get a 787, it opens up probably so many more opportunities for flying.
Well, again, this is extremely hypothetical. But
Right.
yeah, you're taking this to a realistic point. But yeah, but especially living in Omaha, because we are someone where this is a question that's very valid.
Right.
Because the variety is great here, but it would be nice to see, heck, a heavy.
A heavy.
A
Whether
heavy.
yeah, like an American 787 would make sense. I
Hell,
think.
I'll take the 8. I'll even take the 8 over the 9 or the 10. But
Right.
you know what I mean? Interesting question. So to those of you listening, think about it. If you're at an airport like us, maybe you're a Dallas Love Field spotter and you got something against DFW.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? Like just for instance, maybe you live in Lubbock, maybe you live in Stillwater, maybe you live Fargo, North Dakota. You're in the boat that we're in right now. Would you trade what you got right now for one heavy a day, but one main airline?
Let us know. And that's going to be on Paige's polls coming
Yeah.
out
We'll help
You
you
will?
word it.
in the
frankly.
next week.
Yeah, okay.
Make sure
I
you
can
spell it right, too.
Yeah, okay.
Heavy, it's Heavy.
I understand how to spell it. My God.
All right,
To confirm,
guys.
it's Heavy.
We're going to close out this podcast, episode 11.
Handle train?
What?
Handle train? We started
Yes,
handle
it's a
train?
handle
Yeah.
train. First, you're going to follow us, please, at the Exit Row Pod on the Instagram. Paige, where can we follow you?
You can follow
And
me.
Baguette and everybody. Yeah. Go.
Okay. Yeah, you can follow me at Almost Spotted Paige and my little travel buddy Adventures with Aileron.
Buddies.
Buddies. Aileron and Baguette.
Justin,
Bag.
Shout out to Bag.
shout out to Bag.
You can find me at spotting.omaha.
And you can follow me at Photography by Adama D.
It really rolls off the tongue so well.
Every time,
Right?
right? For Justin, Paige, and myself, thank you. Safe travels, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you.
Bye.